shit. Wow. Ain't nobody but Satan, bro. All it is, man. The thing that I screwed this thing to tighten down, thinking I'm broke. I thinking that I have to check and see when I get home, man. But Lord willing, it holds up, man. So Lord willing, ain't nobody but Satan, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. Nobody but Satan, bro. Unbelievable. I tell you, man. Nobody but Satan. But nevertheless, man, we gonna do this thing anyway. Lord willing, it holds, man. Holds in place. I pray to you, how about some y'all shot that it holds in place, man. But nevertheless, we out here, man. So we gonna get started, man. So with that, shalom, shalom, shalom. All right, all right. We gonna face these, man. All right. Give all praises and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostle, a great millstone who rule well, shalom to the hopeful elect that is scattered abroad. To you brothers out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity, into the Yahweh, the feasters that are listening and learning, to you I say shalom. The brother Kabara Yah's coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Lord willing to edify in the faith and lambs of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Through the spirit with Dash. Praise and let's be edifying straight to the point, man. So Lord willing, I hope that holds, man. Pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushai holds up, man. Ain't nobody but Satan, bro. All it is. Trying to hinder this work. That's okay. Gonna keep on going, man. Gonna keep pushing, and hey, ain't like it says in what's that? 2 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 8. Can't do nothing against the truth but for the truth, man. Can't stop this truth. Okay. So I'll see what the problem is with it when I get home. So Lord willing, I pray it holds up, man. So with that, without further ado, let's get started, man. All right. And we're gonna talk about a few things, man. All right, we're gonna address this whole fornication situation, and if any time left, I'll jump into another subject, man. But nevertheless, I pray this lesson is edifying and straight to the point, man. Okay. All right. So without further ado, let's jump right into it, man. All right. So IUIC say talking about the whole fornication thing. And a lot of people believe that fornication, all right, the definition of fornication is, having sex with somebody that you're not married to. That, in other words, premarital sex, which is not true, man, okay? All right, a lot of us thought that, before we came to this truth, man, right? But when you wake up to this truth, man, you find out that was not the case. And if you look up the word fornication, all right, in the Blue Letter Bible, okay, it's going to tell you what it is. You can commit spiritual fornication, and you can also commit physical fornication. And the physical fornication has something to do with the elliptical sexual practices, like, anal sex and bestiality and, the alphabet lifestyle. That's illegal sexual practices, man. It ain't got nothing to do with, sleeping, having sex with someone before you're married. And let's prove what marriage is, man. Without further ado, let's prove what marriage is, okay? Because the Bible tells us what marriage is, okay? Let's start off with this scripture. This is Genesis chapter 24 and verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah. What did you think that Isaac and Rebekah did, man? They had sex, man, okay? And if you look up the word sex, you go to that word sex, that means to cut, okay? It means to cut, all right? When you have sex with a woman for the first time, which is a virgin, by the way, okay? That's having sex, man, okay? That sex means to cut, okay? And you're cutting into the flesh of that woman, okay? In her, in her private area, okay? And the blood comes out, man, okay? All right? And we're going to prove that further, all right? Because a lot of people, they get that messed up as well. Okay, they compare that to the, that so-called rape doctrine, all right, which is not true, man. Okay, but let's read this. Let's continue to read this. Genesis chapter 24 and verse 67. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. That's how you become someone's wife, through marriage. And what is marriage? Sex. Okay. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. And the Bible tells you that he that getteth a wife, let's get it. Let's get it. That's the spirit. Wow. All right, let's get that scripture. I think it's, Sirach 36 and verse 24. Okay? The book of Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. See? When a woman becomes a man's wife, she becomes that man's possession. That's his possession, man. And you got a lot of women out here that like to run around, and especially weak ass beta male self men that say, oh, no woman belongs to a man. Yes, it does. That woman does belong to that man. And we just proved it. Let's read it again, man. Okay? Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 36 verse 24 again. Let's read it. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. You see? We just proved that, man. Okay? That, hey, when a man gets a wife, that woman becomes his possession. Okay? Becomes his flesh. Alright? The two become one flesh. Okay? Alright? So that's how that works. Alright? Let's go back to Genesis and let's read that again. Okay? In case I missed somebody. Genesis 24, and let's get the last verse again. Let's read it again. Excuse me. Alright. Genesis 24 and verse 67 again. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent. Who? Rebekah. And took Rebekah, and she became his wife. And he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Okay? So there you go, man. That's what sex is. Sex is marriage, man. Not, putting a ring on it and, that contractual bullshit, man. All right, and that's what IUIC teaches, man. Okay? They teach that kind of marriage. That's not the case, man. That woman belongs to that man, all right, after he humbles her. And that's through sex, man. Okay? That woman becomes his possession, his wife. Point blank, period, man. Not no contractual marriages. Alright, well, Esau Edom. That's Esau Edom bullshit. He created that bullshit, man. Okay? He created that. Alright? That was not the way in the ancient world, man. Okay? Let's prove another point. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 22, and let's see. Where do I want to start? Actually, yeah. Hold on, let me do this. I like these scriptures. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Alright, there we go. I had to highlight those scriptures right quick. Okay, snuggy. Alright, Deuteronomy 22 and verse, let's see. Yeah, let's start verse 13, the point. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 13. And if any man take a wife and go into her and hate her, see, another proves the point that sex is marriage. Okay, let's read that again. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 13. If any man take a wife and go into her, that's sex. We proved that in Genesis 24 and verse 67. Okay, unto her and hate her, let's keep reading verse 14, and give occasion of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came into her, I found her not a maid. That word maid means virgin, man. Okay? Alright? Which means no blood came out of the private area, alright? Trying to keep it clean, okay? So hey, alright, let's read this again. We're going to take our time with this, okay? Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 14. And give occasion of speech against her, and bring an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came into her, which means he had sex with this woman, all right, and I found her not a maid, a virgin, okay, which means he had sex with her, okay, and he didn't see no blood. No blood came out of her, her private area. Okay? Alright? Let's keep reading. Make that point. Verse 15. Then shall the father of the damsel, alright, which means the young lady, the young woman, and her mother take and bring forth the token of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city of the gates. And that token of the damsel, all right, the token of the young maid, the young woman, the virgin, okay, which that token represents that blood, okay, that you put a white sheet, when they do it, bump and grind, whatever you want to call it, all right, and and that blood represents that token of that young woman's virginity, okay? See? So y'all follow me? All right. I hope y'all got it. But we're going to read it again. Let's read it one more time, just in case. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 15. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. Okay, and that's the woman symbolizing her, the blood. Like I said, the blood sprinkled on the white cloth, okay, represents the young maid's virginity, okay, the young virgin's virginity, okay? All right, let's keep reading. Verse 16, and the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. Okay, verse 17, and lo, he hath given occasions speech against her, saying, I found thy daughter not a maid, which means a virgin. We already covered that. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. That token, once again, represents the blood that is sprinkled on the white cloth, okay? Representing the young woman's virginity, okay? The token of her virginity, okay? All right? And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. Verse 18, and the elders of that city shall take that man and chasten him. Now, if that's the case, now if they show this token of this young woman's virginity and there's blood on that white cloth, okay, that means he lied, and then he gets dealt with, okay? That man gets dealt with. Now let's keep reading. Verse 19, and they shall amends him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. See? And she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days. So he gonna have to stay with that woman, and he cannot put her away. Okay? He pays 100 shekels of silver. That woman becomes his wife, and he cannot put her away. That's the law, man, and this is the law, okay? Deuteronomy also has the laws in here. This is one of the laws, man. But this law ain't gonna be practiced. You can't practice this law here in Babylon, okay? All right? This law here will be practiced in the kingdom of heaven, okay? All right? Let's keep reading. Verse 20. But if this thing be true, the tokens of the virginity be not found for the damsel, which means there's no blood, okay, on the white cloth, okay? Verse 21. Then shall they bring out the damsel to the door of the father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she shall die, which means she gonna be put to death. Why? Because she committed adultery, okay? All right, let's keep reading. Let's read on. Because she have wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house. I mean, she was a woman of the streets. All right, what they call it modern day, a woman of the streets, like these women today. They women of the streets, man. In the words, she belongs to the streets. Okay, so hey, there you go. All right, she committed adultery. She was a harlot all over, sleeping all over, man. That goes to show you, all right, that these women today don't seem to get that, man. All right, they think that's good, man. A woman having a high body count today, man. All right, these young women today thinking that a woman who has a high body count is a high value woman. Nah, man. That shows you the true high value woman in the ancient world, man. All right, it always been this way. A woman who is a virgin, who has a low, really a zero body count. That's who you really supposed to take the wife, man. And really, that's to the priest, man. But like it says, all things are lawful, but not expedient, man. You ain't gonna find no virgin, and not. You may be lucky you find a woman who's a virgin, because this place here pushes nothing but whoredom. Babylon the Great, man, pushes nothing but fucking whoredom. Okay, women having multiple men, having sex with multiple men, multiple partners, and then by the time they in their late 20s and late 30s, early 30s, going into their 40s and 50s, and then how about they want a damn husband? No, man, please, no. All right, and there's another scripture I'm gonna prove on that. All right, just thought of another scripture. Hold on, where was I? Yeah, let's read verse 21 again. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 21. Then shall then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she have wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you. Okay, so she's supposed to be put to death, man. Okay, all right. Women like that supposed to be, put to death, not celebrated. But that type of lifestyle here in Babylon, that's celebrated, man. A woman having multiple men, sleeping with multiple men, having multiple partners, that's celebrated. Okay? Alright? Let's continue. Where was I? Yeah, let's continue. Verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then then they shall both them shall die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put evil away from Israel. Let's read that again, okay? I kind of butchered it. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 22. If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both. Let me read that. It's tongue twisted. Then they shall both of them die, both the man that lied with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put evil away from Israel. Okay, let's read why. Let's continue. Verse 23. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed to a husband, which means she's married, all right, which means she's married, all right, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out of unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they should die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, the man because he have humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. Okay, so in other words, all right, this woman is married, okay, and you're not supposed to do that. Why? Because that is adultery. Let us prove that. No, let's get it. Let's get it. That's Leviticus 20 and 10. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 10. And if the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, so you're not supposed to, all right, sleep with another man's wife. The only way a man could commit adultery is through him sleeping with another man's wife, a woman that's already married, betrothed. Okay, all right. You're not supposed to do that. That is a sin. All right, but you got Israelite groups that tell you that that is okay, and they gonna die for that shit, man. That's wicked. I forgot what group that is. I think it's ISUPK, I believe. One of them. I think it's both ISUPK and IUIC. I think it is. I believe so. Okay. But this is wicked though. Let's read. Alright. Leviticus 20 and verse 10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. So that is wicked, man, and you supposed to be put to death for that shit. But we can't do that, alright? We can't do that here, alright? Because, we ain't in the kingdom. Alright, but that will come back in the kingdom of heaven though. But right now we can't do that because we're in whose kingdom? Esau Edom's kingdom. So Esau Edom allows this type of wickedness to go on. So we can't practice that law. But this law will be in the kingdom of heaven, man, and it will be in full force, man. But the Israelites ain't got to worry about it though, because the law, statutes, commandments are going to be written in our inward parts, man. So we ain't got to worry about it. But the other nations, we're going to have to teach them that, because they're not going to have the law, statutes, commandments written in their minds, man. Okay? Only the nation of Israel are. All right? Starting with the Lord's elect, the elect of Israel, and then when the 2/3 come back into the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, like it tells you in Hebrews the 8th chapter and Jeremiah the 31st chapter and 31. Okay, so hey, the law, statutes, commandments gonna be written in our minds. So we ain't never gonna go off as a nation again. We're gonna have to teach the other nations the laws, man. Our laws of the Bible, man. Okay. And this commandment here is gonna be in full force, man. Because these other nations, they're gonna still be going off. Okay, they're still gonna be sinning. Because who the law, statutes, commandments was given to? The nation of Israel, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Okay? Alright, let's read this again. Leviticus 20 and verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, so you're not supposed to be sleeping with another man's wife. But Babylon the Great, they promote that shit, man. Slocky, sorry about that. Alright, but Babylon the Great, what they do? They promote that wickedness, man. They promote that type of wickedness. Okay? Babylon the Great. Leviticus 20 and verse 10. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Okay? We can't do that here in Esau's kingdom, man. Alright? But in the kingdom of heaven, this will be. That law will be in full effect. Okay? Now let's go back to Deuteronomy 22 and verse 24. Alright, because this matches up perfectly with what I just read, okay? Out of here, man. It's human. It's ugly. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 24. Then ye shall bring them both out unto the gates of that city, that ye shall stone them with stones, that they shall die. The damsel, because she cried not, because she hated. Alright? She cried not, man. Okay? She cried not. She allowed this man to have sex with her. She committed adultery. Okay? She wanted this man to lie with her. Okay? 10. Because he cried not, being in the city, the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. And we just read that in Leviticus 20 and 10. That you're not supposed to lay with another man's wife. Point blank, period, man. And if any Israelite group out there that is teaching that folly, get away from them. Point blank, period, man. Stop listening to them. Alright? And the other Israelite groups, they love to talk about the law this, the law that, man. But, yeah, you telling your congregation that it's okay to sleep with another man's wife? What's wrong with you? Seriously. Anyway, let's continue reading on, man. Because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, so that thou shalt put evil away from among you. Verse 25. But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, alright, that's that raped. Alright. Alright. This is how the Bible tells you how to handle that situation. Okay? Alright? Nobody ain't telling nobody to go out there and do that. No. We don't do that. And that's what, the other groups want to accuse the brothers of GMS for doing, man. Alright? Saying, the whole grape doctrine, man. Okay? The Bible tells you on how to handle it, and we're reading it right now, man. Okay? Still going. Yep, still going. Alright, let's keep going. Verse 25, Deuteronomy chapter 22. Let's do this. In verse 25, but if a man find a betrothed damsel, which means she's already married, in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lied with her shall die. See? Alright? That only that man supposed to be put to death, not the woman. Okay? Let's keep reading. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this manner. Verse 27. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. So she cried out, man. She cried out in distress, but there was nobody to save her. So hey, only that man that forced himself onto this woman only supposed to be put to death. Point blank, period, man. All right, and that's on how to handle. That's on how to handle great, man. What they do, they lock you up for that shit, man. They lock you up here in Babylon, the Great America, for that. Nah, man. If a man does that, he's supposed to be put to death, man. Point blank, period. But like I say, man, we're in Esau's kingdom, so we can't do that. Okay, but in the kingdom of heaven, the other nations gonna be doing this, so they will be handled. Okay, let's keep reading. Verse 28. If a man finds a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, which is not married, and lay hold on her, he has sex with her, and lie with her, and they be found. Verse 29. Then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put her away all his days. So if this man, he finds a woman, a young woman that's not betrothed, not married, and he lies with her, okay, just to get his rocks off, all right. She wasn't proud to be married to no one. He lays with her, and they both be found, okay. Then he got to pay that father 50 shekels of silver, and that man becomes, sorry, that woman becomes that man's wife, and he cannot put her away, okay. No matter if he want to be with her or not, don't matter. Can't do it. Can't put her away, man. So hey, in other words, he's stuck with her. The same situation we read up at the top, man. All right, same situation we read at the top. Okay, all right. Like this man, he gave an occasion to speak. He say he didn't find no, he didn't find no blood, and the fathers and the mothers of that young woman take that cloth that with the blood, symbol of the virginity of that young woman, okay, to the elders, and they find the blood, he'll be chastised, and then he has to pay that father's hundreds of pieces of silver, all right, shekels of silver, and that woman becomes that man's wife, and he cannot put her away. Same situation, bro. Okay? All right. Let's keep it moving, man. All right. What else we got in here? Alright, let's move on. Alright, so we've already proved what sex is. Okay? Alright, we've already proved what sex is. Sex is marriage. Okay? So that's not fornication. Alright? And as a matter of fact, adultery is actually fornication. Let's go back to Leviticus. I think I still got it in here. Hold on. Yeah, and that's actually fornication right here. Let's continue reading. Let's go back to Leviticus chapter 21 and verse, Leviticus 20 and verse 10. Getting tongue twisted. Hold on. Oh. All right. Let's get back to it, man. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 10. Let's read this again. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife. So this is actually, all right, one of fornications, man. Okay, sleeping with another man's wife. Okay, all right. Leviticus 20 and verse 10. And if a man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he had committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Okay, so this is one of fornications, man, you can do. Sleeping with another man's wife. Okay, all right, verse 11. And if the man that lied with his father's wife have uncovered his father's nakedness, all right, if the son, sleeps with his father's wife, that's his father's wife. You're not supposed to do that. Okay, you're not supposed to do that, man. Okay? Alright? Verse 11. If the man that lied with his father's wife have uncovered his father's nakedness, both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. See? So that's illegal sexual practices, man. Alright? Your son, you got a son, and he sleeps with his father's wife. Alright? Come on, man. You're not supposed to do that. Alright? You're not supposed to do that. Verse 12. And if a man that lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them. Another illicit sexual practices you're not supposed to do, man. Okay? You're not supposed to lie with your daughter-in-law. Okay? Verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lied with a woman, that's that Mo lifestyle, all right. The alphabet lifestyle, you got that shit. That's another elliptical sexual practice, all right. If you look up the word fornication, all right, that's also wicked. Okay, let's keep reading. Leviticus 20 and verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. You're not supposed to have these alphabet people walking around, man, parading themselves. When you see that shit, this shit getting even wickeder, man. Now they trying to push that shit on to the fucking children, man. You're not supposed to do that, man. Okay? That's another elliptical sexual practice, all right? And you know what two men do with each other and two women do with I ain't got to tell you, man. I ain't finna go into fucking details, bro. All right? You already know. Use your damn imagination. Really, I wouldn't advise you to do it because it's gross. But hey, that's elliptical sexual practice. That's a form of fornication right there. All right, that's really committing that's not spiritual, but committing physical fornication. Okay, all right, and it tells you that in 1 Corinthians 6:9 that those types of people will not inherit the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, all right. Let's keep reading. Verse 14. And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wicked. So if you have sex with not only your wife, but if you have sex with your wife's mother, that's also wicked. It is wicked. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they. They that it's not that there be no wickedness among you. See? Let's keep reading. Verse 15. And if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death. Ye shall slay the beast. So you're not supposed to do that either. You're not supposed to be having sex with animals, man, which is absolutely gross. All right, in 14 states, that shit is allowed. That goes to show you that this place, Babylon the Great, is fucking wicked as hell, and it needs to be fucking destroyed, man. Alright, because in 14 states they have that shit. That shit is actually allowed, bro. That's wicked. That's another sexual illicit practice, man. That's another form of fornication. Alright? Another form of fornication you're not supposed to be doing. That's fornication. Not having sex before you're married. That whole premarital sex bullshit that whoever, you know who came up with it. Esau even came up with that shit, man. Esau even came up with a lot of dumb shit. Which don't make no fucking sense, man. Alright? But nevertheless, man, let's continue to read on. Verse 16. And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down therewith, so lie down there too. Alright, you got a lot of that going on here. These women having sex with they dogs and shit, which is gross, by the way. That goes to show you, man. This place has got to go. This place got to be destroyed. Alright? This place got to fucking go, man. This place is too damn wicked, bro. Too damn wicked. Okay? Alright, let's continue. Verse 16, Leviticus 20 and 16. And if a man approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So that's a form of fornication, man. Alright? Let's keep reading. Let's read one more. We get the bit though, man. Alright? You get the bit. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, to see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing. They shall be cut off from the sight of their people. He have uncovered his sister's nakedness. He shall bear his iniquity. Okay? There you go. Alright, we made that point, man. Alright? So we already made the point of what that is. Okay? Now, let's go here. This is Judges chapter 8 and verse 30. And Gideon had 70 and 10 sons in his body in of his body begotten, for he had many wives. Wait a minute. Alright? That goes to show you that men are allowed to have multiple women. Okay? And 70 and 10, that means he had 70 sons. Okay? Alright? So he had 70 sons. Okay? Alright? Let's read this again. Judges chapter 8 and verse 30. And Gideon had 70 and 10 sons with his of his body begotten, for he had many wives. So men are allowed to have multiple wives. Although it's lawful, but it's not expedient, man. Alright? Those you brothers in the truth, man, best you don't have a wife, man. And I'm talking to you brothers, young brothers, man. Alright, those that are not married. Because you do got some brothers that do have wives, man. Alright? So, hey. Nevertheless, let's continue. And his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bare him a son, whose name he called Abimelech. Okay? So he had 71 sons. He had many wives. You can't have 71 sons or 71 children by one woman. Can't do that. That's impossible. Alright? Alright? You get a head start, and then again, let me advise you, man. Alright? Let's continue. Let's go to which brings us to here. And this is about to happen, man. This is why Isaiah 4:1 reads the way it reads, man. Okay? Isaiah 4 and verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And we already read how a woman gets, alright, how a woman becomes a man's wife, alright, through sex. Point blank period. Alright? It says, only let us be called by thy name. How you take a man's name? Through marriage. And what is marriage? Sex. And we proved that earlier in Genesis chapter 24, verse 67, and also in Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter, man. Okay? So, this scripture reads the way it reads, man. Okay? Let's read it again. Isaiah 4 and verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. 7 women, and 7 is the number of completion. 7, it can be more than 7. And we already know it's going to be more than 7, okay? Alright? We already know that for a fact. That it's going to be more than 7 women, okay? Alright, let's continue. Let's read this again at the top. Isaiah 4 and verse 1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And how does a woman be called by a man's name? Through marriage. And what is marriage? Sex. Alright. Keep it moving. Okay? Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, let's go with this. Okay. Alright. Now, men are allowed to have multiple wives. Okay? It's lawful but not expedient. Okay? So somebody gonna say, you're not supposed to have multiple women. You're not supposed to have multiple wives. Wrong. Let's read something, right? Let's read an example. Okay? Let's read about King Solomon. Okay? Alright? Because King Solomon, he had multiple wives, man. Okay? Alright? 1 Kings 11 and verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zebuonites, and Hittites. Okay? So, alright, he had women of other nations. Okay? He also had women of his nation, but he also had women of other nations. Okay? Alright? He loved other women of other nations. Okay? Alright? Verse 2. And of the nations concerning which the Lord Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come into you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon cleaved unto these in love. Alright? So That was the reason why you're not supposed to, you weren't supposed to go into the women's of other nations, all right? Because somebody gonna put up there saying, oh, see, let's read Deuteronomy 73, all right? But you got to read verse 4 too, all right? Because some idiot in the comment board gonna say we're not supposed to go into the women of other nations. That's true, but the reason why, and let's read it again. Let's read it again. The Bible tells you why, man. Okay? It's not a sin to do that, but I wouldn't advise you to do it. Not now. Not until we get into the kingdom of heaven. Because, hey, when we get into the kingdom of heaven, then, like I say, man, we're going to be able to do all those things, bro. Okay? 1 Kings 11 and verse 2. Of the nations concerning which the Lord Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come into you. In unto you, for surely they will turn your heart, which means your mind, after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. So those strange women, he took the wives, all right, as he got older in age, okay? He started taking, he was taking those wives of other nations, and he started following after after their gods, okay? So that was the reason why we were not supposed to go into the other women of other nations. Now, is it a sin? No, it's not, because you can do that, okay? Men can go into women of other nations. We can do that. But I wouldn't advise you to do it because it will turn you away from serving the true power of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, okay? Now, I'm not saying you can't do that, all right? You got men that have, heathen wives, all right? But hey, all right? You can still do that. Man, look, man, you can still do that shit. Hell, look. But But look, if you in the truth, man, look, women gonna come, bro. Alright? So we can basically do that. And you got some knuckleheads out there that say, oh, you can't do that. No, we can. You can do that. Alright? Alright? Because you got men. Because, hey, I love women of other nations too, man. Man, shit. Dude. Man, you think, because those women, man, look, let me tell you something, bro. These women, they love Jake, man. Women of other nations, they love Jake. Alright? And imagine when we get in the kingdom, bro. We gonna have the best of the best. We gonna have concubines in the kingdom, bro. We ain't just gonna have Israelite wives. Yeah, we gonna have Israelite wives too, man. Because our women gonna be in their right mind. Okay. But we also gonna have women of other nations too, man. Alright? They're gonna be concubines to the men of the Lord, bro. Alright? And even in our lowest state, we can still get those type of women. Come on, man. If we can still get those type of women in our lowest state, man, just imagine when we get in the kingdom of heaven, bro. Man. Woo-wee. And hey, me, myself, personally, I love women of other nations, though. I really do. Alright? Moabite women, Ammonite women, so-called Japanese women, Filipino women, man, I love it all, man. And we gonna have those women as concubines and servants and, alright, handmaidens. Alright? Come on. Anyway, let's continue to read on, man. Alright, let's conclude this point. 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 3. And he had 700 wives, 700 of those wives, okay, were women of his nation, princesses, and 300 concubines. So all together, all right, 700 plus 300 equals 1,000, man. So King Solomon had 1,000 wives, man, and that is not a sin, okay? Men are allowed to have multiple wives, man, okay? Excuse me, verse 4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart, which means his mind, after other gods. That's why we were not supposed to take women of other nations, because it tells you, all right, why. And we're going to prove that, okay? For his heart was not perfect with the Lord Yahweh his power, as was the heart of David his father. But King Solomon came back as Yahushua, okay? And he paid for the sins of, alright, beat, dancing around my camera. Beat. Slocky. That was a beat, dancing around my camera. Slocky. Anyway, well, hey, King Solomon's heart was, as he got old, alright, his mind was turned away from serving the true power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's what King Solomon went off. He was serving the gods of those heathen women that he took to wife, man. Okay? That was his sin. Not him, taking other women of other nations, man. Okay? So somebody will say, let's go to Deuteronomy 73. Let's read Deuteronomy 73. See, you got to read the whole thing. Alright? Deuteronomy 73. Neither shalt thou make marriage with them, thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons, nor his daughters shall take unto thy sons. Here's the reason why. Somebody say, see, you're not supposed to marry women of other nations. But you got to continue to read on. Verse 4. For they will turn away thy sons from following me. They will turn, they will stop your sons from serving the true power of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Turn you away from serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. That's the reason why. Okay? Alright? That they may serve other gods. See? So will the anger of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. See? That was the reason why. Not because they were heathens. No, man. Men, look, there's like men, we can deal with women of other nations, man. Alright? We can do that. Alright? We can do that. But, like I said, it's better if you don't have a wife. Let's get that scripture. Alright? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 26. Alright? I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress. I say that it is good for man so to be. Alright? Be what? Alone, man. It's better for a man and Lord to be alone, man. We're supposed to be focusing on preaching this gospel, okay? Verse 27. Art thou bond unto a wife? Seek not to be loose. Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not a wife. Okay? So it's best that you be single, man. Okay? Verse 28. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if a virgin marry, she has not sinned. So if you get married, you haven't sinned. You haven't committed no sin at all. Alright? Alright? Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh, but I spare you. Okay? There you go. What else we got here? Let's get this scripture. Let's get this one. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. Okay? It is lawful that a man can have multiple wives, but it's not expedient. Okay? All things are lawful, but not expedient. Okay? All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought unto the power of any. Okay? There you go. So it's lawful, but it's not expedient, man. Okay? Right? What else we got here? Let's read this. Okay? 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh? Be not deceived, neither fornicators. And we cover what fornicator is, alright? What a fornication is, man. Alright? That's a elliptical sex practice, not marriage, not sex before marriage, because sex is marriage, okay? Alright? Neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, okay? And that's, we read that in Leviticus, that, hey, lie down with another man, excuse me, if a man lies down with another man, hey, that's a sin, man, and that is worthy of death, okay? There you go. Alright, so you're not supposed to do that, man. Alright? Alright, so we covered that whole fornication thing, man. Alright? So that's what fornication is, man. Alright? So, let's see, anything else? Alright, here we go. Let's read this and I'm gonna wrap it up, man. This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is transgression of the law. Okay, so sin is transgression of the law, man. Okay? Alright? So there you go. Now, we read about what fornication is, okay? So fornication is a lithical sex practice, man, such as bestiality, the alphabet lifestyle, okay? You know, a man lying with another man's wife. We already covered that. So that really is fornication, man, in a nutshell, okay? So you know what? I'm in here, man. Alright? I done made my point. It's lucky I didn't cover anything else, but that's good enough, man. So that's good enough, man. We pretty much, pretty much covered everything, man. So with that, alright, and I hope I get that tripod fixed. I don't know what happened, but I'll find out when I get home. But nevertheless, man, Lord willing, our praise lesson was edifying and straight to the point. So we gonna face the east, and we gonna say, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai, Kal Halayimah, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. All praises and glorifications goes to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone who will well. Shalom to the hopeful elect that is scattered abroad. Alright? See you with another lesson soon, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala. Kwam Yasharala. Kwam Yasharala. Alright? It's been another Saturday morning lesson, man. Street teaching, man. So with that, Kwam Yasharala and why a Baba. Shalom to next time. Shalom.